guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I've got a list of 3 of the biggest mistakes Amazon beginner sellers make when they are starting out in this business. And I really want to share this with you guys because I am coming up on my 5th year anniversary of selling on Amazon. It has been an incredible journey. I have made a lot of money. I've also made a lot of mistakes. And my goal with this video is to help you avoid 3 of the biggest ones that I see with newbies. So if you are interested in selling on Amazon, make sure you watch this video till the end so that you can find out the 3 things that I want to make sure that you all avoid at all costs. But before we get into that, I want to make a quick disclaimer, you guys, that there are some scammers who are trying to convince you guys that they are me through my YouTube comments, even on Instagram. They make fake pages all the time. Just so you know, on Instagram, it is learnwithabby_ at the end. And I do have a blue check, so please don't have conversations or believe anybody who is trying to sell you anything, either there or through the YouTube comments here. They will normally respond back to a comment and say, let's discuss mentorship or classes. The only place that you can gain access to any of my classes is learnwithabby.com or savvysellerfba.com. Those are the only 2 websites. I will never try to get you to send me money through Zelle or Venmo or Cash App or any other website or platform like that. Okay guys, please be careful. The scammers are out and they are desperate, and I don't want any of you to fall for it. Okay, with that, if you do end up liking this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna jump right in. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is something that a lot of beginners really stress out a lot about, which is the legalities and the formalities when it comes to selling on Amazon or starting any business. So I do already have a video on my channel, and I'll pop it up right here, where I talk about whether or not you need a trademark or you need an LLC or any business license or selling permits in order to sell on Amazon with private label. A little hint, you do not, but I will say that you do have options when it comes to formalizing and legalizing your business, right? When I first started selling on Amazon back in 2019, I had a brand name, but my brand name was not trademarked, and I didn't need a trademark, to be completely honest. I will say that when you go ahead and trademark your brand name in today's day and age on Amazon, it will make things easier for you, just the way that Amazon makes it a little bit annoying if you don't have a trademark. It's not impossible, but it makes it a little bit annoying when you want to make changes to your listing. So that is something that you might want to consider, but it is a personal choice. Obviously, that is going to cost money to file, so on and so forth. But what I really want to talk about, and the reason I'm even bringing up my brand name, is one of the mistakes I made was making my brand name the same as my LLC name. So the brand name is what is describing the product that you're selling, or that's the name of the product that you're selling. So if I were to use this for an example, I've got my trusty Fenty lip gloss, never too far away from me, but the brand name is Fenty, right? It's Fenty Beauty is the name of the brand. You know what? I'm actually gonna Google it because this might be one of the scenarios where the brand name is also the business name. So hold on real quick, you guys. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I had to do a little research myself because sometimes I even make assumptions, and it turns out that Fenty Beauty is obviously the name of the brand and the product line. It's all from Fenty Beauty, but it also is an LLC. However, I think I can still make my point by saying that it has a bigger parent company, if that makes sense. And I'm pretty sure it's a Condo Holdings or something like that. Don't quote me, guys, but it does have a parent company above that, which is also an LLC, not necessarily a brand name. Let me give you one more example because I think I made that a little bit confusing. Let's say, for example, the LLC Kellogg owns Corn Flakes, and they own Frosted Flakes, and what else do they own? Let's just leave it there so I don't misspeak, but Kellogg owns Frosted Flakes. So Kellogg is the name of the company, and then Frosted Flakes is the brand name of that cereal. Am I making sense? So you have the company name, which might not be super well known, and then you have the brand name, which everybody knows, if that makes sense. So like iPhone for Apple, or ABC is a brand, or like an undershoot of Disney. Am I making sense, you guys? Hopefully I do. I might put a couple other examples here so you can see what I'm talking about. But either way, the whole point is that I made my brand name the same as my LLC name, unfortunately, when I first started out. And the reason that I did that is because I figured that I wanted to keep everything super consistent. Let me make my brand name my LLC name so that everything can have the same name and that'll be easier for me to keep organized. What was a mistake and what I realize now is that my brand name was more descriptive of the product, but not a good name for an overall company, if I'm making sense. So that would mean, for example, if I wanted to have a brand where I sold home goods or I sold kitchenware and I made my brand name, instead of making it Abby's Kitchen LLC, I made it Abby's LLC. Ooh, should I say that word? Let me use another example. Abby's Blenders LLC. There we go. So again, if I'm using Abby's Blenders LLC, then what does that sound like? It sounds like my company only sells blenders, right? It's not all encompassing of all the other things that I might want to sell, including a smoothie maker and maybe an air fryer and maybe pots and pans and soaps and a bunch of other products. So I would want it to be broader. And the other thing too, when it comes to brand names, I found that the best brand names are short and unique. You don't want to, overcomplicate a brand name. You don't want to make it too long because most likely you're going to have that brand name printed on your products or your packaging. So if it's super long, it's going to be more expensive to print and it's not going to be memorable. You want people to be able to recommend your brand to other people or to say, oh, I found this really great moisturizer on Amazon, and your friend asks you, well, what was it called? It's easier to remember a shorter, more unique name than to have some really long brand name that no one's ever going to remember. So keep that in mind. But the real reason that I think that this was such a big mistake is because I've had to go through the process of having my LLC name changed. I could have, of course, just closed that LLC and I don't know what the word is for, deactivated it or deregistered with it with the Secretary of State and started a whole new LLC, but it was already filed. It already had, all of my articles of incorporation and all of the paperwork. So I didn't want to go through the whole process again. So instead I had to do a name change, which wasn't super hard to do, but it was very annoying and I did have to pay another fee to change it and it took a long time. So instead of going through all of that, I would just say right from the start, think of an LLC name that is going to kind of be an umbrella name for any products that you might want to sell in the future. But I do want to just quickly say that I did not form my LLC right when I made my brand. My LLC didn't come until like a year or so after I started selling my very first product. So don't feel like you have to do all of that right off of the bat. That can all come later on. Just when it does come, make sure that your brand name and your LLC name are not the same. The number 2 mistake I see beginners making is ignoring that gut feeling when it comes to products and becoming overly emotional and overly attached to product ideas that you really care about. And I know that that sounds really backwards, and I've mentioned it on some of my other social media before, but it's very, very easy to become overly emotional and overly connected to these products that you end up selling on Amazon. And it's really important to just remember that the most important factor in all of this when it comes to private label is money. Okay, we're trying to pick profitable products and not just products that we like and enjoy. And so really what I want to talk about more specifically with this is not trusting that gut feeling. So this is something that is going to take a little bit of time for you to cultivate and for you to really learn how to trust your gut, especially when you're first starting out. You might not know whether or not it's a good product. You might not know if you should move forward or not. And so it's really nice when you have a mentor or a coach or somebody who you can ask, hi, I'm a mentor or coach. But even if you don't, and you're kind of just trying to decide what products you want to sell, it's really important that you kind of have some type of a criteria that you're looking at. And I've talked about this in several of my product research videos. So go check those out if you don't know what I mean. But something can be very blatantly the wrong product and you try to force it. You try so hard to make it make sense when it just obviously does not. So for example, you are looking at a product, and I've told you on this channel and many other platforms and every way that I can that you want to pick products that are not competitive. And so when I look at competition, I look at the average number of reviews. So let's say you come across a product that you love. I use this every day. It's so amazing. I love this product. It's just the perfect product, and you become all starry-eyed and you just can't wait to start selling it. And then you go to look at the average number of reviews and it says that it's 500. How do you decide what is more important? Is it your honestly delusion? I hate to say it, this is tough love, you guys. Is it your delusion that you just really want to sell this product no matter what? Or is it that you have to look at the data for what it is and look at the numbers and just be as logical as possible versus trying to force a square piece into a triangle hole? It's not going to work. So you have to be able to put your priorities in check and really be able to set your own personal feelings aside to be able to look at that product and say, you know, I would love to sell this product. It's awesome. I use it all the time. I really resonate with the product. However, the numbers just are not going to work and I want to make money. My goal is to invest my time, invest my money into picking a good product, launching it, and being able to make X amount per month, be able to quit my job, be able to travel or do whatever you want. That is what's important. So I'm only bringing this up because I see it happen every single day. I mean, I teach Amazon FBA, and so I talk with a lot of beginners, and that seems to be a reoccurring mistake, is just moving forward with those products where you know in your heart of hearts it is not the product for you, but you just want it to work so bad. There is a fine line between having faith in a product that maybe on paper isn't the best of the best, but still hits a lot of the benchmarks, versus picking a product and completely ignoring the criteria and completely just deciding that you're going to sell it no matter what and you're going to make it work no matter what. All right, we have to be realistic and really prioritize making money here. And so what I can recommend is to always look at the data, set your emotions aside, and try to pick the products that will actually be able to bring you in some money and make all of the time and energy that you're spending be worth it in the end. And the third mistake that I see beginners making actually kind of ties into the first, and it goes along with ignoring red flags. But in this scenario, it is ignoring red flags from your suppliers. So this is something that I struggled with a bit in the beginning of my Amazon journey. I am someone who loves to give people the benefit of the doubt. I love to make excuses for people. I'm recovering, but normally I try to think that people have the best intentions. I try to, think the best of them, even if they are showing me time and time again that they do not reciprocate that energy. And so when you are talking with suppliers, you're going to start to get the hang of which ones are going to be better to work with than others based off of a number of factors. I have a video that kind of talks through picking suppliers, what you should look for, what you should avoid. And one of the biggest factors is just their communication and how responsive they are to you. So I remember back with the very first product I ever sold on Amazon, I found a supplier who made incredible quality product. I'm talking about best of the best, just felt amazing, looked amazing, quality was on point, but communicating with them was an absolute nightmare. And I ignored it. I, thought to myself, well, the product's going to be amazing, so I can suck it up and just work with them for a month to get it done, and then I never have to talk to them again. And unfortunately for me, what should have been a couple of weeks of conversation, or maybe even a couple of days with the right supplier, turned into months and months of back and forth, of them not understanding what I wanted, of them not responding to me. And that gets very stressful when you have paid someone to do something for you and they don't respond to you. It stresses you out to the max. And so I have learned that picking suppliers based off of what they are showing you is what is most important. You know that saying that says, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them? Yeah, that goes with a lot of things, not just friendships or relationships, but also your business relationships, the people you choose to partner with and help you in your business. If they are making it a point to not respond to you in a timely manner or speak with you professionally or answer your questions, they're being pushy, they're trying to get you to do things you don't want to do, you have to see that for what it is, which is that they are not going to be the best supplier to work with. And that's fine, because on Alibaba there are hundreds of suppliers, thousands of suppliers even for certain products. So you don't have to settle. You can always find someone new, someone better to work with when it comes to your Amazon business and having your products made. So, kind of making sure that you are listening to yourself. And I promise you in the beginning, again, it might be a little bit tricky. You might not know which direction to go or what you should be doing or how you should be proceeding when certain things happen, like your supplier says some random thing. You don't know if this is a red flag. You don't know if this is normal. So that's why it's also important to have a community of other Amazon sellers around you so that you can just shoot a quick message in the Facebook group. Hey guys, this is what my supplier said. Is this normal, or has anyone else's supplier said that? And everyone else floods in and they say, yeah, my supplier's done that before. It's not a big deal. Or no, that's really weird. I've never heard that before. And that way you can kind of get the feedback as you decide for yourself and start to figure out and hone in on your own ability to make those decisions and read things a lot more quickly. That's one of the things that I have learned in, again, my almost 5 years of selling on Amazon, which again is just nuts to me. But one thing I've gotten very good at is trusting my gut, and my intuition tells me that something is off or that something is not going to work, or I can't trust this person, or I shouldn't, make that decision in my business. I listen to it, and I don't spend days and weeks thinking about what I'm going to do. I act. And if it turns out that it wasn't the best decision or the right decision, I pivot and I find another solution. And I promise you guys, you will get better at that as time goes on, but you do have to start practicing with feeling uncomfortable making those decisions. And it's just something that will continue to get better and easier as time goes on. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video, and I hope that you learned something with those 3 mistakes that beginners make. I really want you all to succeed with your Amazon businesses, and that's what my channel is all about and focused on, is helping you get to the point where you launch your Amazon product and you're able to scale and make a living out of this. It's really been an incredible business for me, and I hope that it will be for you as well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Again, please do not fall for the scams, you guys. I want you to be safe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.